Welcome back, you sadistic twisted people, to another episode of Turbo's Torch, the gift that keeps giving. This is Tiger Turbulence, uncensored, unleashed, and turning the torch up on SFA identities. Now, a couple of weeks ago, I had the hot couch, and Ligma was one of the old girls that was sitting on it. And as is contestant's right, I said to her, "Who do you want to throw the challenge down to?" Now, Ligma surprisingly went for youth. I'd always thought she was a bit of a DILF chaser. But anyway, she went for youth. So welcome to the hot seat, a person who has played 55 games with absolutely no SFA awards. The Furies co-captain, which we will discuss, Pickett. Welcome, Pickett. How are you?
Good, thank you, Turbo. How are you?
I'm going really well. I'm actually looking forward to our little talk. Being an ex-Furies myself, I think we probably have a little bit of history and a few things we can have a good discussion about.
Definitely.
Now, Pickett, you know how it works. I ask the questions, you answer. No padding, no bullshit. Just get it to us raw and honest, or I'll turn the torch up and burn you. Now, Pickett, are you ready?
Sure am.
Now, why do you think Ligma picked you to sit in the hot seat?
No, actually, that one did baffle me a bit. Yeah, no clue. There's not many new faces around on the podcast scene, so maybe she just wanted a new face.
So you got no idea either?
No.
God, Ligma had a chance to get one of the Dilfs or Gilfs on the show, and she went for youth. That stunned me as well.
Thought she would have gone for Horry or something, but you know.
Absolutely. Oh, go top shelf. Sorry. Yes. All right. We both don't know what's going on there. All right, we'll let that one go. Now, we'll start off with you when you began. You started season 32.
Yep.
Now, you started with the Demons. Now, how did you end up at Mount Buller?
Yeah, funny story. So the tour came around to the Melbourne board, and basically they appointed me captain of the Melbourne board team, and I thought I was captain of Mount Buller. So at the end of that practice match, I got a bunch of PMs, got some from the Gumbies, Wonders, Royals. Didn't get one from the Demons. So what I did was reached out to my mate, Imus Frosty, and I said, "Have you been approached?" And he said, "Yeah, I have actually." And I'm like, "Oh, could you put in a word for me?" So he goes to Manangatang, Manangatang comes to me, and then just like that, I'm at the Demons. So
Now, obviously, it wasn't a successful merging, was it?
not particularly, no.
Now, I'm assuming those men with their, man buns and kombucha tea, being all uphill skiers, they wouldn't have really wanted to engage a young rookie like you, would they?
No, not really.
No, I figured that was the case. So you got the cold shoulder at the Demons, did you?
Well, it was going well, but I was kind of glued with the opposition. Always kind of was solo in my posting, or post alongside Frosty or Tumpus or something, or Blue Legs. But no, never really got along with the old folks at the Demons, like Cooney and who else was there? Pants Kyle, Manangatang. Yeah, it just wasn't the place for me.
So, did they have words to you in the PM, like basically tell you that you weren't a good fit and you maybe should look for somewhere else, or did they just boot you?
Nah, there's a story behind that. I messed up a bit, got suspended for trolling the Geelong board after the prelim in 2021. And as you can probably tell, I got bored, started spamming the team PM and got booted off. And that's when the whole trade saga started. And Frosty got picked up. I didn't. I got stuck without a team PM.
Yeah, but the Demons were prepared for you just to go, weren't they? They didn't want you in their team.
Yeah, it was a funny one, wasn't it? Because if you remember the trade saga.
I do, but I don't think it was funny. I think you just got thrown out, didn't you?
Yeah, well, they just kind of left me to die, didn't they? They didn't even want to trade me.
So who were the arseholes behind that bloody young rookie, only a few games in, and basically just tossing you? Name names. Who was in charge?
In a couple of the trade things, I think... Oh, I don't remember. It was whoever was in... It was Guns, maybe. Guns was in there, and they really wanted a good deal for me, and I don't know why, because they didn't want me anyway. So when they couldn't get a good deal, they just were like, "Oh, well, you can just stay on the list anyway."
So you reckon Callum's Guns was the one with the knife stabbing you in the
Potentially,
back?
I can't. It's not all clear in my head, but he was definitely one of the names.
Wow, that surprised me because obviously, Guns come to the old boys, and he was always really nice to our rookies. Maybe he just didn't like you personally.
Maybe he was a bit underappreciated there anyway. He wasn't even in the leadership group, and he was doing all the posting numbers and everything.
Oh, righto. So he was just one of those blokes like in Game of Thrones working behind the power.
Exactly.
Righto. Now, I remember my part, because I was at the Furies at the time,
Yep.
we picked up by Miss Frosty, who was well considered as a poster
Yep.
and seen as a valuable pickup. And he pleaded your case. Did you know that?
I didn't. I thought he kind of just left and then left me to die at the Demons.
No, he pleaded your case, actually. He tried to convince us, like he lied to us totally. He told you you're all right, that, you had good intention, blah, blah. Like he sold your package. So, he got you across. But you've been across ever since, so...
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and did you find, as a new person with a lot of experience, going from the Demons to the Furies, how did you find being in the Furies PM and, in our gameplay at the time?
Oh, far better. Because, if we were going up against a shit team like, well, who can I pick on? Gumbies.
Yeah, Gumbies,
I could just go into the team PM, talk to them, because I actually got along with them, and they were interesting posters. Yeah, it was real good for S33 and start of S34, and then, yeah.
So would your recommendation be for rookies not to join the Mambulla Buddy Demons?
I would recommend them not to join any teams that are perceived as boring, because it will be boring. I was told that it was going to be boring, and, well, there you have it.
So would you say now in S35 the Mount Buller crowd is still boring?
Not as much. Well...
Oh, don't go soft on them. They threw you out on the snow.
They took you up to
the ski chalet and threw you out in the snow.
Greeny's all right, but Greeny's gone. So, no, yes, they are still boring.
Well, of course Greeny left. Why would he stay with those assholes?
Yeah, he was only there for how long? Half a season.
Even that, yeah. Righto. Now, I was a Fury, right, when you come along.
Yep.
And then after a few seasons, and I gave up captaincy. The season after I gave up captaincy and you arrived sort of thing,
Yep.
the Furies were an e-girl, right?
Yeah, they did.
Which also was my last season at the Furies, so that may or may not be like something in that. What I didn't understand was, what the fuck was that all about? You seem to be involved in it and seem to be loving it. I could not get my head around it. So can you explain to me what that e-girl stage of the Furies was all about?
I don't really know what there is to explain, so it was just a bit of a phase, I mean, Greeny changed to Crimson Violet. Cadaver was a deal for most of his Furies days. Everyone was in on it. It's kind of unexplainable. I wasn't really at the top rank of the Furies back then, so I couldn't pinpoint who led the e-girl charge, but,
What was the point of it, though? Like, I was out of it. I never became a girl. What was it?
I just think they thought it was funny,
Did you?
There's a bit of humour in it.
Yeah, you see, you're stepping away from it. You're like third-personing them and going, oh, yeah, they thought it was funny.
Well, no, I never
funny.
changed from the Keziah Pickett profile picture. I never left my post.
But you did enjoy it, though, didn't you?
Well, kind of have to, get amongst it.
So you're not owning it now?
Yeah, I'll own it. I enjoyed it. It was a good phase, and then most of the people who were leading it got wiped. So that's all I'll say about that.
Now, the Furies rebranding.
Yep.
Hit or miss?
In regards to the Richmond to pink and green.
Well, no, it wasn't just that. Like, when I was in charge of the Furies, we weren't just Richmond. We had other people. We ended up with that Tassie Devil. Remember Taz?
Yeah.
So we got away from the purely Richmond, which people saw as the way to go. I personally, I don't know. I don't mind there being a little bit of an AFL alliance with clubs, but anyway, we won't go there. But you went from the Taz to
the tornado.
Well, isn't it like a shit or something, like a little dog turd or something?
It's a tornado, and there's a hidden FF in there fighting Furies.
Well, I was choosing up between a Mr. Whippy cone or a Mr. Whippy shit. I wasn't too sure what it was. So, what are you saying it is?
It's meant to be a tornado, I think, and there's a hidden FF in there. If you have a look.
And do you think that worked?
I think it worked quite well.
You actually think that's a brand that people recognise and understand clearly?
Well, I mean, mate, it's better than Tiger, you know.
What about Tassie, though? The one you actually replaced it with?
No, I didn't mind that. Again, I wasn't in charge of the rebranding, so I can't really comment on it, but I don't...
You were part of the team, mate. Stop trying to pull away from it. You were in conversations with the people...
Well, if you want my honest opinion, I do prefer the Tornado. I think it's less focused on the Richmond side and less Taz side. It was okay, but I mean...
What's the Taz thing got to do with Richmond?
No, nothing. It's just...
That's right. What you
I think it looks better.
Was not a Tiger thing. You didn't replace any Tiger stuff.
Yeah, well, again, I prefer it. You might have a different opinion because when you were here, it was the Taz, wasn't it?
Well, we had a couple, but yeah, we changed it to Taz at one point with the idea. So using the argument that was used to get the Taz in, but that argument with putting in the Mr. Whippy shit doesn't match because the Taz wasn't Tiger.
Well, I mean, would you have preferred the Taz?
I didn't think the rebranding was an improvement. Because when I first saw it, my first thought was, what is that? Like, it wasn't recognisable to me. Like, it didn't... And I looked at it...
You didn't see the acronym in there?
Well, I actually looked at it and thought, well, how do you play with that? Like, as a symbol, how do you play with it? See, the Taz Devil we used in a lot of stuff because it was a character. But your tooth thing, I don't see the Furies ever using that in anything.
I don't necessarily think a logo needs to have a character. I think the posters need to have characters, you know?
Yeah, but a logo needs something that captures your attention and gives you, you look at it and you get a bit of an idea there's something behind it.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I could show 100 people that new logo you got. Not one of them would understand what the fuck it was, whether it was football team or anything. They wouldn't know. Be honest.
My honest opinion is I don't mind it. Agree to disagree, I suppose, Turbo.
No, that's fine. I love it. But you got to stand your ground, though.
Yeah.
So if you like a Mr. Whippy Poo, it's good. Now... An important thing, when's Kittens opening again?
There's actually talk of that. I think it was ND that was going to lead that.
Oh, yes, ND! Get it open, buddy! I've still got a heap of free lap dance fucking coupons. I hope they're still good if it opens.
Well, I mean, take it up with him. But, yeah, it's something he wanted to bring back because, I mean, we're kind of in that in-between phase of closing down the e-girl shit and opening up whatever else is going to come.
Well, you've got the Hippodrome, and yet you've got no landscape around it. Like, Kittens was just a fun place to go before the game, after the game, during training. Basically, we just went to Kittens all the time. So it'd be a great thing to get back.
Well, I think one of the things is that a lot of the rookies have no idea about it. I was pretty oblivious to it until recently, and, I mean, you look at Jai, James Colorado's only been around for a couple of seasons. So it's just kind of ND, fridge and stuff that we should get it started back up, I guess.
Absolutely. It's an institution. And every team should have a place where you can go back for drinks with the opposition team and party. Like, that's just...
Absolutely.
You've got to have it. So if you open Kittens, I can guarantee you... Well, there's a lot of the fucking people that didn't venture into Kittens. They were a bit frightened to go in there, the soft cocks in the SFA. But there's a lot of us who'd be happy to see Kittens open again.
Sure, I'll take it up with him.
Excellent. Push it. And if ND's behind it, which he should, because he saw Kittens flourish. T. Jasta was the rock at the Furies after a mass exodus from the Furies in season 32 and season 33, right?
Yes.
So he had a big influence on the club because, he'd been captain and been in the LG for, seasons after season. So he was really the bastion of the Furies' knowledge, when you guys turned up.
Yeah.
Now, T. Jester ended up leaving the SFA.
He did what? Sorry, say that again?
He left the SFA. He's no longer part of the SFA.
He left the SFA by force, yes.
Yeah, so what happened there?
You want the whole story of how we got wiped, etc.?
Just give us an abbreviation so
the
listeners have an understanding of what's going on.
Okay, well, he and a couple others in a group, basically some things were said and those things got leaked and some people weren't happy about it, so they got rid of him.
So does he have any influence on the Furies anymore now that he's no longer part of the SFA?
I believe he has a right to have some influence. He
That's
gets
not the
approached
question. What I
on.
said was, does he still have an influence on the Furies even though he's no longer
No,
in the SFA?
no, not particularly. At
No.
the end of the day, it's up to James Colorado and
Oh, that's a
myself.
political. But does he have any say on the on the Furies?
I mean, he still sees what goes on, but he's not going to sway uh, over me or James Colorado's decision. You know?
So you would disagree then that T. Jester is actually the puppet master behind the Furies?
Oh no, those allegations are false.
Oh, you reckon? You don't
Yep.
consult with him at all on Discord?
Ah, well, as I said, he gets to see what goes on, but he doesn't decide it. So that's what I have to say about that.
But he still does opinionate and discuss things with you, doesn't he?
I wouldn't say he discusses them. I would say he shouts out his opinion, and we kind of just look at it.
Yeah, right. The T. Jester is the puppet master. Oh, I knew he was. Now, still talking about the Furies. In the season 30, I was captain of the Furies and had the honour of presenting the Furies' highest honour, the Claw of Fame, which is the life membership to the club, which I was
Yep.
very honoured to. Was probably the best award I've been given in the SFA. It was given back in my time when I was captain to an ex-Furies captain, Sturge. Now in season 33, I was disappointed to see the Furies took this honour off him. They actually revoked it.
Did they?
Yes, they did. Because he was vocal about how crap the last Furies rebranding was. Did you have anything to do with that decision?
No, I was going to be in the LG, and then they realised I was pretty shit at leading, so I ended up not being in the LG for season 33. So no, I had no influence.
So then the other question I'll have then, seeing as I obviously won't be putting the finger in you on that, is where would you stand on the fact that an award's been given to someone for seasons upon seasons of service to the club,
Yeah,
and that because they went to another club when the e-girls stuff started and that, which is fair enough because it was strange for those of us that were old Furies, and he was very vocal, which is what Sturge is. Sturge, calls a spade a spade. And he's very, vocal about what he thought about the Furies. He took that part. I didn't. I kept out of that because
yeah.
it wasn't my thing. But Sturge, he plays, on the front foot. Do you think it's right to take an honour off him?
No, I don't think that's right. I think it was more of a publicity thing. No. Again, I didn't really pay attention to any of that. We might have to reinstate him, but yeah,
Well, I think
I don't think it's fair. If that's
good.
what you're asking me.
We'll have a conversation with you're a co-captain, so
Yeah.
it's one of those things that you can't wipe off people's previous service, even if you're not happy with what's going forward. You agree
Yeah,
with that,
I
wouldn't
agree. Yeah.
you? Yeah. Okay. Good. All right, Sturge. If you're listening, although I think he's a bit shunted by the SFA these days, but if he's listening, there's a chance, and it may bring him back because he actually isn't playing this season.
Well,
So,
does he care that much that he left?
well, he left, I think, because he's disheartened and brokenhearted. I mean, he had the greatest award and recognition ever taken from him. I mean,
Yeah, poor Sturge.
yeah. Like, he's got feelings too, There's a feeling in him somewhere.
Of course.
Right. Now, Canucks.
Yes.
He was ranked as the best Furies rookie of all time for a while. He was a
Wow.
blazing comet. Well, he was a blazing comet, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
He
Yeah.
really hit the ground pretty hard. Now, I could see that people thought we can build the Furies around new talent like this. This is the beginning of the surge because you got to admit the Furies have been getting some pretty bad publicity, haven't they, in the past few seasons?
Yes. Yep.
Fold'em, whatever. Like I've seen it all happening.
Yeah.
Now,
I mean, I'd argue we'd be in a much better position without the big wipe. But
so what did you think about the fact that when Canucks turned his back on you and defected to the old boys? What did you make of that?
yeah, no. I definitely played it off with him as I didn't care, but in reality, I thought he was a bit of a prick because he knew the situation. He knew we had him, Jai, and James Colorado basically as the new guys, and he decided to walk away anyway.
Yeah, no. And why do you reckon he did it? Why would he turn his back on you?
Uh, Look, he was led into the leadership group, and I think he saw a couple of things he didn't like with the way it was run. But um, end of the day, I think he just saw the old boys. I mean, even I've been tempted in the past by the amount of numbers you guys have, but at the end of the day, I recognise that you guys are fine and that you don't need any more numbers. I don't think he realised that. I thought he thought that you need more numbers and he was going to run over and join.
Fuck off. Canucks did not look at the old boys and go, oh, I better go across and boost them up.
Well, did he talk to you about it?
No, I was surprised when he turned up at Spotswood out the front there in his cat cage. And happy. I accepted him. But
Yeah.
there was something happened at the Furies. You's upset him.
Well,
You said he saw a few things he didn't like. What was that?
oh, I just think, uh, it was a bit of just, he wanted more influence than he was getting, and I tried to explain to him, you're a rookie who got let into the LG in your second season, so probably be thankful. But yeah, he just didn't really get it. At one point, he suggested that we make Falconista and the Injury Factory our captains, and I was like, there's no way that's happening.
Where did he come up with that?
I have no idea. He thought they were good blokes, and I was like, just because they're good posters doesn't mean we appoint them as captain.
Do you think he's spoken to them about being captain of the Furies?
I don't think he has, because he would find out that they probably hate us. But
Oh, I don't think every of them would have jumped at the opportunity. Oh, that's
Exactly.
gold. See, I never heard that before. That's a new one. That's brilliant.
wow.
Ah, I love it. Well, anyway, Paul Canucks is obviously no longer with us.
But, yeah.
He got the green needle. He had to be put down. So you didn't lose a lot out of him. You probably lost about 3 months.
Yeah, well, end of the day, it doesn't affect us as much because he had already left when he got wiped, so...
Yeah. I love it. Now, on the last podcast, Phenom stated Tijasta was part of the S34 expansion bid. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
So what did you think when you heard that? That
Well-
Tijasta's telling you one story and, there's Phenom saying another story.
Well, no, I actually did speak to him briefly about that. He said, he kind of just said, oh, yeah, that's cool that you're doing an expansion bid. He never actually signed up, so I think Phenom took it a bit more than what was intended. I agreed with you when you were talking to him about that. One guy on board does not mean an expansion bid, but,
Yeah, I cracked up when I'm saying, so who did you have? And he goes, Tijasta. It's like, and who else? Tijasta. And I was like, oh, you fucking... I think I actually said, you fucking idiot. Oh, dear. So you believe the fact that Tijasta was just helping him and wasn't actually part of the bid, that Phenom's just grappling at straws to try and make his bid sound like it had something?
well, I mean, if he's going to call it a bid, he may as well do the work for it to be a bid, like actually reach out to people and, I mean, especially talk to someone that isn't permabanned. But yeah, no, if he was serious about it, he'd get more numbers, but no comment on that.
Now, you played 17 games at the Furies of Greenery.
Yeah, yep.
Why did he leave the Furies? And is there any bad blood between you?
Yeah, good question that. We actually have no idea. He kind of just got up and left because he was bored.
You
It was-
reckon just bored?
Well, we didn't treat him with any wrongdoing. He was in the leadership group. He had an
That's why
influence.
I'm asking. It didn't look right that he just left. Like he was in the LG and...
I just don't think he's the type to stick around even if it's good. I think he needs new surroundings no matter what. So,
Well, he didn't stay at the Demons long, did he?
well, that's excusable. I think we could all explain that one, but
Well, he left for the Demons to the old boys, so he's obviously
Yeah.
improved his situation immensely. But yeah, okay, just thought you think he just left because he was bored.
yeah, pretty much. I mean, again, can't think of anything that would have made him leave.
Wouldn't Greenery be a natural captain for the Furies?
He's not the captain type, not a leadership type at all.
Why is that? He's in the LG. Doesn't he have some sort of ability?
Yeah, more of an opinions guy. I couldn't see him being captain. He was definitely like a good addition, but losing him wasn't the end of the world. But yeah, I mean, he was never going to be captain, so maybe that's why he left. Maybe he wanted bigger aspirations somewhere else. He did say he was thinking of running for admin, so...
Well, actually, I've heard that as well. Would you support him in a camp? In fact, I was going to ask you whether you support him in a campaign for admin, but what you just said, obviously you wouldn't.
Well, no, I'd be running against him, probably.
Would you run for admin?
I mean, I tried to run last time, and then I'd submitted my thing 2 minutes late.
Is that the one they said was a joke bid?
So I guess some people perceived it as a joke bid. I did submit my application to ND, but it was 8 hours late because I
was going to say,
fell asleep forgetting to do it.
You stuffed it up, didn't you?
Stuffed it up.
Yeah, as in you didn't go about it right. Like you were thinking you wanted to be admin, but then it was all over, and then you're like, oh shit, I just missed the boat here.
Yeah, pretty much.
And do you think that's a good start to your campaign to be an admin?
Not particularly, no.
Are you serious about wanting to be an admin?
Oh, look, I think if I can go on a debate against people and just try to deflect their questions enough, I think I'll get a couple votes. And maybe I'll...
Why would you want to be admin that? What would you actually seriously... Is there something in the SFA you want to improve, or what would your charter be? What would you be looking to do? Remember, this is your opportunity to start your PR.
Yeah, definitely.
We need to answer that quicker than you.
Well, all right. I still need motivation for it. Maybe the team
I still need motivation for it. Is that going to be your campaign sticker?
I've got
time, vote for me. I still need the motivation to do it.
Look, if I get over 2 votes, I'll be happy.
But what are we voting for? Is what I'm asking for. Give me just one major thing you'd want to introduce or do in the SFA.
Oh
God, it's that hard, is it?
Yeah, I'll think about it. Don't know.
Well, now I said this is your opportunity to, get some promotion up for your campaign. It didn't work.
No, I don't think I'll ever be too serious about it. I
don't think anyone will take you seriously for it at this point.
Exactly.
Righto. Now, why did Dominic 03 leave the Furies halfway through the season?
I can answer this one. I thought you were going to ask me this.
About fucking time you could ask something about the Furies. It's your co-captain. You should know everything.
No, I talked to him, and he just said, bit of an odd answer. He just said he didn't care, and that was it.
He didn't care.
That's what he said. That's how he described it. He said, I didn't really care, so I went to the Rats because I thought it would be funny, and I couldn't be bothered to switch back.
So why did he leave the Furies?
No, he thought it would be funny, is the way he described it to me.
Fucking...
Thought it would create a stir, and then we ended up not caring too much. So
was the point that he'd leave and come back? Look, that's a bit more of a joke method, but not just leave the club halfway through and that's funny.
Well, yeah, it was odd, wasn't it? Because he hasn't really posted much since. It was an odd choice. I can't really speak on it. Maybe I'll challenge him and he can come on and explain himself.
Fuck. I've spoken to a few of the current Furies as part of the research for this show. Obviously.
Oh, God.
They tell me you're not a captain's arsehole, right? Now, they're pissed off. They reckon you have fuck all input into decisions, that you go missing, and that James Colorado is in fact the captain, and you just have a title. What do you got to say to that?
No, I wouldn't agree with that. I think I have a fair input.
Exactly what's your input? What's something you've had an input on, that you've actually made a decision on, or you've pushed the decision?
I think I'm more of a poster boy as a captain. I mean, I'm not even the committee rep. I think James is that. But I do a lot behind the scenes in the team PM, just let people know what's going on. I haven't had much time to do my spamming activity that I would usually do. But yeah, I mean...
You really haven't got anything, have you?
No, they're probably right in saying that.
I'm thinking. Now, you were the Furies rep in season 34, right?
Yeah, I was.
So, you got to be in the, sit at the big table.
Yep.
How do you think you went with that important responsibility?
Uh, I mean, I definitely read it. I didn't do much. Did one of the Furies bring that up as well? Because
Well, the actual committee reckon you were actually inactive in the committee. That you actually didn't do fuck all. And then when you did read some of the committee stuff, you didn't actually convey it to your LG. And it
yeah,
actually caused the two committee rep rule to be enforced because of your behaviour.
that might have been me. Yeah,
Oh, you should own that. I mean, you did fuck all, but at least wear pride that you got a new law brought
oh,
in
that's my
because
second
of
new law
your
that I brought in.
yeah. So the
The
two
f-
committee rep rule was brought in because of you. That there must be a
yeah,
backup person in case the certain Furies leader is not here all the time.
yeah. I mean, proud of that. Proud of
Yeah.
making a new rule. Second new rule.
Righto. So I'll come back to, as the Furies committee rep S34, how do you think you went with that important responsibility?
Uh, I don't think I relayed as much as I could, but it turned out okay in the end, didn't it?
Yeah, I think we established you did fuck all.
Yeah.
Now. Righto. Now, this is an odd question. This is from Mobs.
Oh God. Okay.
Now, you've built a big footy ground in the Minecraft world, in your Minecraft world, right? In a rural
Yeah.
town
Yep.
outside Sweet,
Yep.
right? With a massive stadium,
Yes.
correct? Apparently it's half finished.
Um.
No, it's not it is
Yeah.
half finished. And
It
Mobs
is half
wants to know,
finished.
Mobs
Okay.
wants to know, will the construction team ever move their material off the Lirima Arena surface? Are they on strike? Did the money run out? Did you hit a planning permit roadblock? What the fuck's going on?
I haven't got around to it. I don't know. Does he want to play games there or something?
So what you're telling me is you're taking the responsibility of building this arena the same as you did with your committee thing and your captaincy role and all that.
Well, he's never really said get a move on, so I didn't really think it was
Pickett,
too urgent.
Pickett, we're getting a bit of a picture about you. There's a little bit of consistency in your past, isn't there? Right, here we go. Who don't you like in the SFA, and why is it Pugsley?
I've never interacted with Pugsley actually.
So you don't dislike Pugsley?
I have no feelings towards Pugsley.
Well done. You're the first guest on this show not to hate him. All right. So who don't you like in the SFA?
Mr. M, Senior M.
Just that? Is he the number one disliker?
Oh, maybe Blue all through, but his shtick is kind of to be disliked. So I don't know.
And you
That
don't
was-
think Senior M's is?
I think it is, but I think he just gets really annoying with it. I mean, he tagged me. I counted about 10 times, and I responded once in our match thread this week. Just very annoying guy.
Well, he's coming in the hot seat in a couple of weeks.
Is he?
Yeah. What would you expect when you tune into that show to hear?
I would expect a lot of joking, a lot of calling out people, much like his posting.
So do you think in real life he's as big an arsehole?
Maybe.
I mean,
Not really my...
Can you fake that stuff?
I don't think you can. I think, considering his history, considering his drama history, he's probably the same.
Yeah, let's hope.
Sorry,
he
Senior
is.
M.
No, I hope he is. It'd be great to have him in the seat. Now, do you think Denny D, captain of the Gumbies, should make a public apologies to the Ophidian old boys for going on a drunken rampage at our S34 best and fairest
Yeah,
night?
yeah, ask Fiend on this. I have no idea what that was all about,
Oh,
to be
what
honest.
happened? Well, remember that.
To agree with you, I'll say yes, he should apologise, because why would he ruin your presentation,
remember they've got a fake player in the Fulls pack? He's an alt. And we called it out. And they all got upset about it. So he come into our buddy Best and Fairest and Drunken Rage trying to embarrass us, but just embarrass himself. And also the committee. He tabled bringing the game disrepute charge against us, and that got thrown out in the first day.
Did they ever get repercussions for actually bringing in an alt into their team?
No, because they went by the thing, we can't prove it. And they let it go. Even though that player never gets played, and it's obvious they haven't posted since the day we called it out.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, good on you. So you agree, Denny D, as captain of the Gumbies?
Yeah, if it's in relation to that, absolutely he should, because that was 100% Gumby's fault.
Right, this is the third show where he's been called out to apologise, and we haven't heard anything from him, would you believe? He hasn't reached out, and here we are. You know, they're fitting old boys, their arms open, happy to engage and put this to rest. Just put it to rest. But no, he's letting it fester.
Maybe get him on the hot seat, mate.
We'll challenge him and I'll get him in the hot seat. I don't know.
Yeah.
You reckon he'd get in the hot seat?
No. God, no. Don't think he would.
I don't know either. But I've got Falconesta, though, after this show. So next week is Falconesta.
Interesting.
So, guess what I'll be bringing up with him?
Counter-knock situation.
Now, it's time for Fact or Crap, the intellectual game show that allows SFA players to show how thick they are. Now, Phenom, last week, got a magnificent 8. Magnificent 8. Did you hear his knowledge on wrestling?
Well, I think that was a bit of a gift because his whole shtick is wrestling.
No, when I looked up those questions, I don't want you to get your questions right. I actually looked up obscure, only really massive fans questions you'll know in wrestling. So those questions I asked him were not the common wrestling. I've never spoken to Phenom before. I didn't realise he's actually a wrestling head. Like, he lives and breathes it.
I mean, didn't he make a whole Cootie clone, but it's wrestling? Yeah. Isn't that his thing?
But I thought that was just his fun of making a wrestling thing, because it's different in the SFA. But I didn't realise he actually knows in depth everything about wrestling back to 1605. So that blew me away. The only thing you have to do, you know what you have to do? The only
get better than Katsky.
Yeah, which is 3. That's it.
Yeah, I'd be lucky to get that. But
if you get 4, remember it's 50-50. By rights, you should get 5. So if you can beat 3, you've done your job.
What did Ligma and Miss Turbo get?
5.
Okay.
So
I'll go for that.
That's that 50-50.
Yeah.
Admittedly, Mrs. Turbo got 4 of them. And Ligma, she was struggling. But anyway, just beat 3. So here we go. Now,
all right.
I give you a statement, and you quickly tell me if it's fact or crap. Now, your area of expertise is the Melbourne Football Club. Is that correct?
Yeah, I threw something out there and I landed on that, so.
Righto then. So the Melbourne Football Club is your area of expertise. Question 1. And remember, quickly.
Okay.
As of round 12, you have won the exact number of games as you have lost.
To the Furies?
No, just in your whole history. You've won the same amount of games as you lost. Fact or crap?
Sorry, I'm not understanding. Melbourne or the Furies or me?
This is you and the SFA.
Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure that's fact because Furies were really bad and Demons were really good, so it kind of balanced out in the end.
It is a fact. You've won 27 and you've lost 27.
Yep.
That's a good start. Melbourne Football Club was founded 1859.
Crap.
When was it founded?
1858.
Very good.
Bit easy, but...
Well, it's Melbourne. Ron Barassi has played 22 finals.
God. I think it's crap.
Why, how many do you think he's played?
More than 22.
He's played 22. So you got that right.
Shit.
Fuck, you've done all right. You are a Melbourne fan.
No, it was a bit of a guess, but yeah.
Cigarette smoke has a radioactive content.
What?
Cigarette smoke has a radioactive content. Come on.
I'm going to say fact.
It is a fact.
What kind of a question is that? Why would I know that?
The whole point is not to ask you questions you know.
Fair enough.
This is a question about you and the SFA.
Okay.
As of round 12, you have kicked 42 quals.
In my whole career?
Yeah.
No, that's crap. I haven't got as many as that.
How many have you got?
Well, less. I played in the back pocket for a long time.
Actually, you got 41 quals.
Oh, God.
I only changed it by 1. You've got 5 in a row. Well, you've beaten Katsky. How dumb are you, mate? You've still got 5 up your sleeve and you're smashing him. All right, here we go.
All right.
The Amazon River is the longest river in the world.
That is crap. Pretty sure it's the Nile.
You're correct.
Yeah.
Right,
Amazon's just more popular.
Answer these quickly, though. I don't want you stalling on me. Buttons existed almost 1,400 years before the buttonhole.
Fact?
It is a fact. You've got 7. I tell you what, Serial Thriller's going to be in this conversation because he got 10 out of 10.
Yeah, that was a bit of a reverse psychology one.
The only person that's ever got 10 out of 10. So if you can match him, we'll have to have a playoff between yous.
Righto.
Although Phenom wants to be part of it because he got the 8 and was really pissed off he didn't.
What does the top 5 look like?
Oh, there's no one. The Serial Thriller is number 10. There's no one near him.
Right, okay.
The Furies won the SFA Season 21 Premiership.
Oh, shit. Crap.
Do you know what year they won?
I think it was 26.
It was 20, actually.
Oh, right. So am I still going?
You still got it. You got 8 out of 8.
Okay.
I mean, you're getting them right, but you don't know the answer. So
I know.
That's why I'm asking you what the answer is to see if you actually know the answer. But you're doing you call well.
Isn't 20 the only one that the Furies have, or?
The Furies have won 5, mate.
Oh, okay.
God, no, your history.
But you didn't ask me about that.
Righto. Alpha waves are faster than beta waves.
What? Alpha
waves are faster than beta waves. Come on.
Crap? I don't know.
It is crap.
What the hell's an alpha wave?
What we're going to do is, you've got 9 out of 9. So this is
you didn't answer what a fucking alpha wave is.
We're not getting into geek stuff. This is a kid show. Now, Serial Thriller is the only one on 10 never been challenged.
Okay.
So this question, and this is a Melbourne Football Club question.
Oh, God. I'm going to get it wrong.
Well, it's your area of expertise. You should get this right.
All right.
Because I've thrown in Melbourne questions, SFA questions, and some random questions, and you've nailed them all. So we've actually gone back to your last question is your expertise question. This to match Serial Thriller. Melbourne won a flag after finishing 4th in 1926.
That's crap. We didn't win in 1927, I don't think.
26.
Oh, yeah, that's fact.
It's crap. You come 3rd.
Oh, shit.
Serial Thriller, you retain that trophy.
I swear we won in 1926.
You did win it, but you weren't 4th. You were 3rd.
Oh, well...
See, Melbourne won a flag after finishing 3rd in 1926.
Yeah, all right.
I'll give it to you, though. You did know it, but I just switched position. But I did that with a lot of them where I just switched it by 1, and you got them. You jagged them. So, but well done. You 9 out of 10 is not embarrassing. So one thing
It's a lot better than I thought.
Well, one thing they can't say is you're a thick prick. Like, you've done all right. Well done. I like it. And who would have thought? Most people think of you as being a bit thick, I think. Wouldn't you think?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah. But now you can, when they start giving you shit about your intellect or your intelligence, you can just go back to the...
I'll just point to the turbo board.
Absolutely. Fuck. Righto. I have one last question. Who would you like to see in the hot seat next?
It's got to be someone I think's actually going to come in. I'll go Greeny.
You're going to go Greeny?
Yep.
You heard it, Greenery. Have you got the cojones to sit in the hot seat and take the heat? This is Tiger Turbulence making it even hotter in the SFA.